What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another collaboration beer. This time between the Other Half Brewing Company, and they're out of both Brooklyn and East Bloomfield, New York, and now Washington, D.C., along with the Kings County Brewers Collective, and they are also out of Brooklyn, New York. And this is their Make Up Your Mind Already. So they're calling this one a Sour IPA that is brewed with Blackberry, Tangerine, Vanilla, and lactose. Comes in at 7% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 2.5 months old. So I picked this up at the East Bloomfield, New York location when I went on a trip to like South Rochester, New York. I basically hit up Letchworth State Park, the Mortales Brewing Company, the Other Half Brewing Company, and then I went to Henrietta and New York and checked out AJ's Beer Warehouse, and I brought back a bunch of beer. This was one of the beers I picked up at Other Half, and when I grabbed it, it was already a month old. So when I came home, I kind of threw it in the fridge and kind of forgot about it, and I was like, wow, I didn't review that beer. So I grabbed it out of the fridge. I'm like, wow, this is almost 2.5 months old. Time to review it. So the one thing about this beer, though, we should be fine is when it comes to sour IPAs, about 80 to 90% of the time, I really don't get a lot of the hop forward characteristics of a sour IPA, especially when they're brewed with a bunch of fruits. So, typically a little bit of a bitterness or like citrus vibe, but outside of that, it's usually just the fruits and then like the sour. It turns into kind of like just a sour ale. So I think we'll be okay. If not, whatever, 2.5 months old, it happens. So yeah, Blackberry, Tangerine, lactose, and vanilla. Should be fine. Let's crack this one open. So, poured into the hashtag proper glassware to some extent. I mean, kind of. Half proper glassware. All right, so yeah, you can definitely tell there's blackberries of some sort in there. So yeah, that pours out this really like deep purple color, very murky and turbid. About a 2-finger of this bright pink, creamy colored head. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Let's get a nose on it. Oh yeah. So I want to say I've had another beer from Other Half that's giving me this vibe. I'm basically getting Blackberry Creamsicle vibes right off the top. Ton of Blackberry. Oh wait, hang on. I'm getting like if Blackberry Creamsicle had a baby with a tangerine or an orange creamsicle. That's kind of what I'm getting. The first sniff, it was all blackberry and all vanilla. Now it's blackberry, tangerine, and vanilla. But the tangerine's coming off more of like just a straight orange. Really can't tell this. Like I said, this is 2.5 months old. And here's another thing too. More often than not, like 98% of the time, a lot of percentages this review. Keep that in mind. But 98% of the time, I can find the hop bill for whatever beer Other Half releases. This one, I don't know what hops they're using. So if anybody knows, throw it in the comment section. I have, no idea what they're using. But yeah, blackberry creamsicle, tangerine creamsicle, orange creamsicle. This smells like a sweeter sour beer, a little bit of tartness in there. It smells fucking delicious, honestly. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a fucking fantastic beer. The body on this one, 7%. Lower side of medium body, so it's a bit thin. The mouthfeel, though, very soft, smooth, and creamy. More carbonation than I thought, but it's good. Mouthfeel's good. Body's a bit thin. Taste. It's a fucking blackberry orange creamsicle that has mixed together. And it's fucking, that sounds weird, right? I don't even know blackberry creamsicles exist. I'm just assuming they do because everything fucking exists nowadays. But that is really weird because you get the blackberry as like a sweeter tart berry, but then all of a sudden fucking like orange tangerine shows up and then vanilla blankets it. Very weird, but quite tasty. Yeah, so that's at the front of the palate. Blackberry, tangerine, vanilla. Pass through the palate. Midway through, there's a semi to full on dry kind of fucking just dryness that hits mid-palate, along with like a generic bitterness. So that's probably where the IPA portion's showing up. It's just like a generic bitterness. I can't sit here and pinpoint it if it's, citrus pith or zest, or if it's like a earthiness. It's generic. It has a little bit of an acidic kind of finish, and there's an underlying tartness here. This is not too tart. I think if you're somebody who doesn't like sour ales or you just can handle like a little bit of tartness, I think you'd be okay with this one. This is not mouth puckering. It just has like a slight tartness to it for me. The vanilla is very prominent. It's like an omnipresent vanilla that kind of blankets the entire palate, which is really cool. Here's the crazy thing about this one. This is not too tart. It's not really that bitter at all, just a slight bitterness, and it's really not overly sweet. It just has, I guess, a balance between those, but none of the characters are like, there's not an emphatic punch of any one of the three characters between a bitter, tart, and sweet, which is nice. It doesn't drink like 7%. This is fucking good. This is, you know, a lot of people talk about whether or not like the fruit smoothie sours are beer, and a lot of times I would just be honest with you and say they don't drink like beer, so they're beer, but they're not. This kind of doesn't drink like a straight beer, but it's not like thick and viscous. It doesn't drink like a fruit smoothie sour. It just drinks like a creamsicle that's been melted down. That's what it drinks like, and I can't hate it. It's not overly complex. It's not going to blow your mind, I don't think, if you like these beers, but I think if you like Blackberry, you like Tangerine, you like Vanilla, I can't see you not liking that, and I like all those things. So, make up your mind already. A collaboration between Other Half and KCBC. High 4.25 out of 5 and go 4.3 out of 5. Fucking good beer. 2.5 months old. It's held up extremely well. Yeah, I don't get a lot of the IPA characteristics, but I don't fucking care. And I've said this so many times in Sour IPA reviews. If there's fruit involved in it, I rarely get the IPA portion. And I don't care if I don't get it, because more often than not, you get the character from the fruit. You usually get, if they're using lactose or vanilla, you get that. And it's just fucking, it's a good drink. It's a good beverage. So price and availability. Price point, I believe this was $20 a 4-pack, which is kind of going rate for something like this. And availability, Other Half. Just, I think recently they just... I think they increased their shipping to a bunch of other states. So I don't know exactly their availability at this point. Go to Other Half's website, see where they ship to. But now with the pandemic and everything, they're shipping to a bunch of fucking different states. So if you really want to get your hands on some Other Half stuff and you live outside of New York State and you're in the Northeast, maybe Midwest, maybe a little bit to the South, you should be able to get some of their stuff. And they're showing up all over the place too. Like I know... a good friend of mine, fellow beer tuber, Han Yolo, he's gotten some stuff way out there in Oregon. Some people have gotten it in Maine. It's just, at this point, I don't know. I don't know what the availability is. I know that we get them here easily in Western New York. Outside of that, check Other Half's website out, check their Instagram page, and you pretty much can find out if you can grab them or not. And if you have to trade for them, Other Half's a great brewery. Trade for the stuff that sounds interesting to you, because more often than not, their shit's pretty tasty. So yeah, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review. Interesting collaboration, and a tasty one at that. 4.3 out of 5, I think, is a great score for a sour IPA, a fruited sour IPA. And yeah, if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one, cheers.